I know. We need to get another one.
Welcome everyone to the February 20th Vernon Selectboard meeting. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any public participation tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to the chairman's remarks. Just have a quick reminder that on the 5th is the Vernon town meeting, followed by town meeting night number 2 on the 6th, as well as the general elections all day on the 6th.
What time does that start?
Town meeting?
On the Monday.
6:30.
6:30.
And then the Tuesday was 7:30 or 7?
I think we set it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7:30, but I think we set it at 6:30.
Just make sure you show up at 7:30, not 6:30 like I did last year. But otherwise, please, everyone, exercise your constitutional right to vote, and hope to see you at the polls. Let's move on to the minutes from the 6th.
I didn't find anything too severely bad with them.
You must have done a pretty good job.
It must be.
Why?
Not too
Because
Do I find
You
those?
find more mistakes. I don't. I see the mistakes, but a lot of them, I just let them go as long as I can understand it. I don't.
Well, this is public record, so it has to be kind of
I
better than...
welcome it, really, it's fine.
Sorry,
No, I think it's fine.
don't make mistakes and I won't
I'll
correct you.
try not to.
Right. I'm kidding. Mr. Chairman,
Miss Howe.
I move that we accept the minutes as written of February 6th. Probably ought to...
Second?
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the minutes of February 6th as written. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Aye. One abstention. Oh, Sally, did you have?
No.
Oh, okay. Department head committee reports. David, you don't have anything new?
Yeah, I got some paperwork, road virgin standards for you guys to sign.
Okay. And then while do we need any brief explanation as to that?
This is the standards for our roads project. Even if we take roads over, that ours meet or exceed the state, which on some of the stuff it does, some it meets the state's requirement.
Do we have any that don't meet the state's requirements at this point?
No, this is all for everything we got and new construction coming.
Okay.
So,
So Sally, you can start passing your stuff out.
got these two.
Have you heard about any progress with the road in Guilford? Remember we spoke about that and there were surveyors out there
You guys should be having a meeting coming up.
with Guilford? Okay, so it is done and we're going to need to do some renegotiations.
Sorry, I didn't see that, but I don't have my glasses on, so I didn't see that
Can you
it
make
said
a
select
copy
board.
of that? Just put it in my box.
We'll go out there and when we start looking at this. Sorry, David. Anything else?
That's it. Other than I'm reading that stuff.
And would you mind hanging out for the participation or the part about the VY protests?
Okay.
This is standard.
Need a motion?
Bobby, we need to sign.
Two sets.
Yeah, I need a motion to sign the town, road, and bridge standards of Vernon, Vermont, and the certification of compliance for town, road, and bridge standards.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to allow the board to sign the town, road, and bridge standards for the town of Vernon, Vermont, as well as the certification of compliance for town, road, and bridge standards. Is there any discussion?
Can I sign them?
He hasn't finished it.
Oh, yeah. I thought he gave it to him.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. While we are going over the bills and warrants, I have to step out for a moment.
What's today's date?
2020.
2/20. There you go, David. What are Ginson's card services? It's like 115 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yes.
16 of them?
Thank you.
What?
Okay, thanks.
Almost as much as that.
Uh-oh. Hey, wait a minute. This is actually clean.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
I laid down to rest my eyes, and next thing you know,
You were sound asleep.
my wife said to me,
It's a dangerous thing to do.
I just got off the phone with your mother. I was like, you know what time it is? She's like,
Don't tell anybody, but I don't think. I should talk to her. I go, oops, that looks like your mother.
We're at the bills and warrants.
somebody says like alpha one, means I believe, because nobody else.
Okay. Well, obviously I didn't either.
Here, do you want
I'll
to?
get it out with Charlie. Thank you.
It's another table. Man, this is soaking wet. I'm kidding. I didn't spill it on there. Yeah, I did.
That's it.
I get
No
it.
more food and beverage at the select board meeting.
You can't say that, it's gonna be a vote for only one person.
Daddy's coming at me.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
You can tell her later.
I will. No, I won't.
Should she?
sing solo, Bill.
I'll get one if you sing it for me. Katrina?
Yes.
No, I guess I don't want to ask you, I want to ask Sally. Do they give these to us anymore? No, not since we
we're not-
changed. Ooh.
We lost that benefit.
Yeah, oh, too bad. Do they sell them, do you know?
I might be able to snag one somewhere.
Those beautiful calendars that we can read.
I can get,
I could probably one
that's a at a glance one,
here.
so you can look at all the different months rather than bring one in.
You have them?
We have ones that are.
Well, I don't know, I don't know if I'm going to be here
The yearly
next time you
one.
meet.
The yearly one is really nice.
Yeah, it's a whole long one, it's a yearly one, it's at a glance, so you can look at
That would be
months
great.
ahead.
Yes.
I will do that. I would be happy to donate a calendar to the select board room.
Is that from Trend Solutions?
It is from Trend Business Solutions.
One of the things we had talked about before was to have a consolidated calendar that showed as far as like milestones and when stuff was going to be due.
So that's why this is nice, because you can,
If we
That's three,
did,
but-
right, when we took the at a glance, you know, thank you, the at a glance with that built into it, and then transferred over every year, just take one at a glance to the next at a glance, and it'd be like, there it is, highlighted on the thing, critical decisions with what we have.
bring one in.
I want you people to know that this is the first time in 3 years I have brought one piece of paper with me tonight. I have nothing, so don't ask me if I brought
You're gonna
any
stand up and
information or
applaud.
anything. I didn't bring a thing. I said I'm going there with just my pocketbook, and I did.
We might be able to eliminate one roll-off every 3 months.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Everybody else look at that?
There's 3 on those two.
One of them's mine.
Hey, Chief. How are ya?
Very close.
I hear you enjoyed your weekend. Yeah. Where did they get the snow? No kidding. Yep. I used to go every year. Loved it. Many years.
Well, a number of people that I spoke to didn't go because they were worried about it being muddy, and they brought in truckloads of, I think it was Allard donated truckloads of sawdust, and they dumped it down, and it was very pleasant.
You're getting right prepared, aren't you? I'll be doing the same.
So while we're waiting, this budget represents a 1.15 increase. That is not including the missed dock send funds, right?
That is not including that. Correct.
And that 1.15 is what we're going to need to raise. It's really not what the budget is up, just so that, yeah, but the bottom line to raise it.
Oh, I have something for you, Sally. I keep forgetting. I've had it since, I've had it since Thursday, and I keep forgetting to bring it to you. When I scan the card, I'll send you a copy, okay? To go with this check. all right?
Okay.
Been keeping you awake.
We got very,
And I told him,
very
only
tired
pay
at the
for
end of the
two,
day
because
for
I
some
probably
reason.
will do one more before the end of before the end of June.
I've been
I'll do one
really
paper.
tired today.
My
And
body's
so,
aching and I'm tired.
and then after that, I told him it may go
Sorry.
quarterly. I don't, depends on how I'm feeling.
Okay.
I've been working already on this one for a week now, a little over a week. So. Takes a lot of time.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Miller.
I move that we approve warrants 17 SG, accounts payable $51,556.30, 6S payroll $11,070.45, 7S payroll $14,168.10.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept and pay warrants 17 SG, accounts payable in the amount of $51,556.30, 6S payroll in the amount of $11,070.45, and 7S payroll in the amount of $14,168.10. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Does that, unless you have anything for me?
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you so much, Sally.
Enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home and cook dinner.
Well, what time's dinner?
I don't know.
We'll all show up.
Yeah, let us
Let us know. Bye-bye. Thank you.
The next section, old business, I put on the agenda, because we kind of rifled through this when we did this the first time. But I have the articles and the budget review/prep, because I wanted to just make sure that everyone was comfortable and would be able to speak as to what they said they would speak to, or was able to speak with any questions that may arise from the crowd during that time. So is everybody comfortable with what's in this budget? Let's start with the
I'm
budget, I
comfortable
guess.
with it,
Yeah, I
budget.
don't have the article thing. I was unable to get the articles. I was hoping to get the motions as she had written up for you.
Well, Chris didn't bring any paper, so we don't have the notes you took.
No,
When are we getting the
yeah,
annual report?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Let me ask. Look.
Well, generally, we don't usually get it this early, do we?
Really?
We get it at least a week and a half before, and it
So-
is about that time.
Right, so
Yeah.
sometime this week, I would guess, is when we get it. And then the cheat sheets, last year, we didn't get them till the day of.
I know, and
Well, that's
and
what I
you
was
were-
trying to get for you. I was trying to get the cheat sheets.
Right, and they were perfect, so I'd kind of like, that, pretty much the same thing, idea.
Yeah,
That's
and I
their-
know that she had them ready, but I just wasn't able to connect with her.
Yeah, because, man, there's nothing like a cheat sheet.
And I guess, when we go through it, and we start to go through it in our head as far as, how we're going to, with the motion, and then, that depending on what it is, we can either say that we will speak to it after the second, and then, or we're not, and then just speak to it when people have questions.
Well, I think if it, you know, is like, say it's fire or highway or something like that, they should be there defending their...
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because I
Yeah.
remember a few years back, one of the select boards said from now on, department heads had to be there, because if there's intricate questions about their budget, they may
should-
not be able to be answered by anybody other than the department heads.
Yep.
So I would hope that the department heads would be there to explain their budgets.
Well, I know David's always there, the fire department's always there, police department's always there. I think the majority of them
I
are
have it
there,
right
but
here.
they need to be able to talk to their own, you know, about their own budget.
But ultimately, it is our budget.
That's right. Yep, I
But it's
agree.
like, you know, if somebody says, like, typically, somebody will always ask, so what are the streets that are going to be done in the, you know, in the next coming year? And they want to know that. And, you know, if David sends it to us, then great, but if he doesn't send it to us, then,
He's always there, he always answers the questions, pretty much, right? Right?
We've only missed one because of snow.
That's right.
Only one.
And we
Yep.
ended up not even having it.
And we didn't have it, did we?
I don't think so. I think you guys canceled it.
Yeah, we had to get there to cancel it because
I
it was the
think we
second
did.
night.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to see the department heads there anyway, because it, you know,
I think it's important.
I do too.
And they generally are.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody who,
I don't know
I
anybody
mean, the
that hasn't
library,
been there.
the trustees take care of the library.
And they're coming up for a vote. Aren't they going to be asking for
There will
somebody?
be trustees, yeah, elected, yeah.
There'll be two trustees plus...
Two trustees?
the budget.
Plus the budget.
But then again, and also is that if people have questions, that the different agencies that are asking for money they should have a rep there too.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I've been there years where they didn't get what they wanted because there was no one there to represent them.
Yep. Yeah, because you definitely have to be able to, I mean, we have to present it and defend it, but when it comes to questions that pertain to a different, a specific department or committee or whatever like that, they're the ones that know why they want it and the explanation of that, so.
Okay, what about the articles? Does everybody know what articles are doing?
That will come on the cheat sheet too.
I have a list right here, just we'll go over it very quickly to make sure we're on the same page. Article 8, to see if the town will accept the report of the town auditors as printed in the town report.
That starts with 8?
Yes. Chris, you had signed up for that.
Okay.
9, to choose a committee for Memorial Day. Patty had signed up for that. 10, to choose a committee to disperse the income of the marsh fund. That looks like Bob. You signed up for that. 11, to see if the town will accept the report of the library trustees. That's the library. Additionally, to choose 2 trustees for a term of 3 years is the library. Article 13, see if the town will raise $113,576 and appropriate the sum of $130,000. This is the library's budget.
That's the library as well?
Yep. 14, see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $1,000 to be expanded by the Vernon historians, etc., for purchase and preservation of historical items. That is Chris. 15, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $20,000 to be placed in the previously established elderly assistance fund. That is Bob. 16, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $66,000 for repair of damaged headstones in all the town cemeteries. That is Chris. 17, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $27,440 to authorize the selectmen to expend the same for the support of the following in the designated amounts. This is all of the organizations. That was Mr. Ball.
Yeah, we did that too,
What
yeah.
article was that? The number?
17.
17.
Number 17.
Yeah, I'm good.
We did that because we didn't want to list them all. We figured your last time out, we're going to give it to you, buddy.
I'm just going to say as listed.
That's what I would do.
I think they'll ask for a paper vote and ballot anyway for
I
that.
hope they do, because I
Yeah,
think that makes people feel more comfortable.
I think so too, yep.
18, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $40,000 for the previously established Town of Vernon James Cusick Scholarship Fund. That was me. To see if the town will authorize, 19 is to see if the town will authorize the disbursement of not more than $40,000 of the proceeds of the James Cusick Fund in accordance with that's me. 20, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $1,000 for the previously established Town Copiers Fund. That was Bob. 21, to see if the town will approve the Vernon Capital Plan as presented in the annual report. That was Patty. 22, to see if the town will raise $200,749.28 and appropriate the sum of $203,297 for funding of items in the capital plan. That was Patty. 23, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 for the purchase and installation of air conditioning units in the police department. That was you, Bob. 24, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $80,000 to be placed in the previously established town road upgrading fund. That was Chris. 25, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $50,000 to be placed in the previously established town parking lots maintenance fund. That was Mike Ball. 26, to see if, 25.
Thank you.
To see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $20,000 to replace computers and the server for the town offices. That was me. 27, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $50,000 to replenish the professional service fund. That was me. 28, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $30,000 to be placed in the previously established reappraisal fund. That was Chris. 29, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $43,357 to fund the unfunded liability portion of the retirement fund. That was Mike Ball. 29. 30, to see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 for the town picnic. That was Patty. This one's blank.
Guess I couldn't write fast enough.
Second.
Will raise and appropriate, the amounts are blank, to
That was
defray its expenses and liabilities for
That's
the
me.
ensuing year. Okay.
Can you
That's
say that
me.
again?
To see, 31, to see if the town will raise such and such a dollar amount.
Okay,
Yeah.
31 was actually changed to raise $7,000 for the Alice J. Brooks.
Oh, that's right.
And Patty said she would do that one.
Right.
Oh, okay, all right.
And
So
then
that's, yeah.
31 was the Alice J. Brooks, $7,000, and that was Patty.
So,
So 32 is the one that we asked
32
Sally
is-
to do, and she said she'd rather have...
32 is the town office audit.
Oh, that's right. The audit, that's right.
32 was the audit, and that was Mike C.
Okay.
Do I have that in there?
no.
33 then was...
Well, I wasn't doing it, so I didn't have to worry.
We believe 33, yeah, I know 33 is, to see if the town will raise X amount of money and appropriate X amount of money to defray expenses and liabilities for the ensuing year, and that was the one that Sally did not want to do.
Right, and so I said I would do
And so
it.
Chris is doing that one.
I mean, it's up to you. If somebody else wants to do it, that's perfectly fine with me.
This is now
And then that
33.
was 33, then
So then 30.
That would be it.
34 comes to
To see if
the
anything...
town will authorize
Authorize
payment of real and personal property taxes.
Which was
That is
Patty.
Patty.
Yeah.
And then 35 would be,
To transact any other
And the-
business that may
yep.
lawfully, and that's Mike
yep,
Mike who?
me.
Cormunch.
Okay, and Patty. All right.
And is Chris.
On the one for the 33 is that if, depending on where we're at, probably will take a short 5-minute recess
Would have to, for her to
in
figure.
order for her
Yeah.
to, whatever that, and then that would be suggest to Tim to ask Sally that.
I have that there. Alice K. Brooks.
Hey, how are
The
you?
audit.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that leads us to the parade ordinance. Did everyone get a chance to review the new parade ordinance with the inclusion of what we discussed last week? And I believe we were going to review this,
Yeah,
say we were okay with it, and then send it off to the attorney and begin the process of getting this passed.
Yeah, Katrina came to the house and we worked on this.
Oh, shit. Yes. I said shoot. It's PG-13.
Oh, I said something a couple weeks ago that shocked him.
Can we, under definitions, we should probably change Board of Selectmen, because immediately, you know, when you look, and Selectmen, is that we get into the actual portion of it, and it talks about Select Board, and we're not all men anymore.
So instead
Well,
of...
it shouldn't be selectmen, because not all of the select board people are selectmen.
That's
I
what,
know,
what he
that's
just
what it
that's what he
said.
just said.
Oh,
Yeah, all
I'm
right,
sorry, I
so-
caught you at the very
And I
end.
didn't know if it was, I didn't think it was a gender thing, but
Well, is that, you know, but the thing about it is as you're using a term within the body of the
Select board should
document, is that if you're using Select Board in the body of the document, that should be what was in the definitions.
So I'm going to
Yep.
change that, select board. And this is under Article 1 definitions.
number D, yep.
Okay, select board
And echo is an E.
and select board and E.
Do you have this? Obviously, you have it in electronic format.
Mm-hmm. Make the changes and send it over to you.
Okay. The other question I had was the fee. Now, that's all well and good that we may want to charge people fees depending upon the type of activity that's happening. But as it's been pointed out, the way this stands is this couple that wants to have a wedding
Would be charged
would be
$100.
charged a $100 fee.
Mhm. As would any other organization that used town property and had to obtain a permit.
So the farmer's market that wants to have a thing out front is going to get charged a $100 fee.
They asked for a permit.
If
They
they
have
don't
to
ask for
have-
a permit, then they're
Then
going to
they
get
get
charged
$500.
Well, maybe not. In that, when you take a look at the threshold that this kicks in for, is that if you turn around and if you're the expectations, the reasonable expectations of the number of people, that basically, I think it's 25, as for where it basically is that it be the threshold. You know, they might say, "As darn, we'd be excited if we had 25 people at any one time." If, you know, if it was just basically a small farmer's market with just one vendor. Or are you talking about there'd be more than one vendor?
Yeah, there would be because,
Under the reasonable expectation would be that there'd be more than 25 people there, same with the wedding.
There isn't in Guilford.
no, not at one time.
Not even close.
Really?
They've got 4 or 5 vendors.
Huh?
That'd be the only way around.
That's true. I don't think I see 25 people at the one in Brattleboro.
No.
The one,
Yeah, I was going to say.
at Merchants
The
Bank.
yeah.
Oh, right, out there. Yeah.
There is inside the winter
Winter one,
one.
I think
that's
Sandy's right, there was something that
depending on.
prohibited
Right,
it from being here, and that's why they were gonna have it
right.
direct.
A couple Saturdays ago when I was there, there was a lot of people.
So couldn't
Again,
we
depending on the
define
day.
parade and protest stronger so that it didn't take in a farmer's market or a wedding?
Say that again, Patty, I'm sorry.
Couldn't we define a parade or protest in a better way so that it didn't take in a wedding or a farmer's
You can make
market?
an exemption
Yeah.
for
Or
weddings.
there's also, the fact is that when we have the historians or whoever has an event, like at the chapel, there's more than 25 people at the chapel. I mean, if you really want to get to it, it's like, if it's not something that's basically sponsored by one of our committees or one of our departments, and it's, that, how do you word that?
Can you list it under here, where it says open air meeting, with possible exemptions, weddings, and list down
I
farmers
thought there was
markets,
an
so on and so
exemption,
forth.
there is.
I thought
Permit
there was, too.
required exemption.
But then somebody will just get married at the protest.
And then,
And be
yeah,
done with
that's-
it.
yeah, that's true. Or then list them as possible exemptions.
I mean, I hate to see this, but even like, in Brattleboro, they get a permit for a wedding. They pay the fee. The fee, I don't think is
Funerals,
as
yep.
high as what, unless they've raised it. I don't think it's high as what you have in here. But weddings and everything pay, but they pay for the use of the gazebo too.
Well, funeral processions are exempt.
Yes.
Well, the other thing.
You could make weddings exempt if you wanted to do that. You could make,
How many weddings are done on the public property or?
A lot of them are done at the gazebo.
Yeah,
I don't know
actually.
that there's more than 25 people at them, but then in the summertime, there are weddings at the shelter.
Mhm.
But the shelter is a recognized gathering place that is, they're getting their permit through the
Rec department.
rec department. That's their property underneath their control. We start double dipping, and the fact is that you go and turn around and get the
Still
shelter.
town property. You have to be careful.
yeah.
I mean, I say
You
make
have to be
make
a-
weddings exempt. But then again, this one just gave them an
I
idea.
think that, there's something that has to be defended by you could get clarification by Richard. He'd probably be able to give it to us in a heartbeat.
Right.
That way we don't have to agonize over this.
Yeah, and just tell them what it is we're trying to achieve, but not make it difficult for everybody to be able to breathe in town.
Yeah.
Because a
Right.
lot of people that get married here live here,
Right.
and it's
Most people that get married there live here.
kind
All
of,
right,
it's their
so-
gazebo.
It sounds to me like the board
Exactly.
wants me to give this to Richard to review, and then we need to discuss stuff like weddings, farmers markets, things like that, and how it would,
Charitable groups.
charitable groups, and how we can get around that.
You also
Still
want
maintain
your
the
own
integrity
departments,
of
like your
this.
preschool or,
That's covered under here in exemptions, I think.
is it? I see students going to and from, governmental agencies and among other a town department or agency.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's covered then.
So that's anything that's being held through, even, I think the
Oh, yeah, down
9/11 thing
department.
would have been covered under this because it was held by all, by the
Yeah,
historians.
Yeah, that,
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Yep.
All right, on to the final topic. Annette, thank you for coming. Todd, David, I apologize for the short notice. Mary Beth is going to be available via that conference call, so if you want to call that top circle number.
We're doing this in opener or because of the fact is that,
We're going to start in open.
okay,
She's not going to give away any tactical stuff that's been going on anyway.
So I think we need to talk about some of that stuff ourselves. Also, I want to close the town hall. No, building.
Oh, it's a,
Yeah.
because it's a Tuesday.
Hello, this is Mary Beth.
We can talk with the school.
Hi, Mary Beth.
Hey, Mary Beth.
Hey, hi there.
We're in open session right now,
Okay.
so do you guys want to?
Come up here.
Come up
That would be
close.
good.
Mary Beth, it's Mike. We've got the full board here. We've got Annette Royden from Emergency Management. We've got Fire Chief Todd Capon here, and we've got Highway Commissioner David Walker here.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey,
Hey, Mary Beth.
And basically, to start, I don't know how much of this we can do in open session, what we'll need to do in closed session, or how we're going to go from here. But as probably everybody in the room knows, the month of March, we're due to see some possible protests at VY. You had indicated there would be a couple of marches going through town. And additionally, I believe the rumors are that on the day that VY was supposed to close, there's supposed to be a very, very large influx of people coming into town. So, I know you have been in discussions with VY and with the state police and probably others, but I don't know how far the fire department has gone or the highway department or even emergency management. And there's probably things that need to be discussed in regards to parking, the availability of space for emergency vehicles to get through, maybe possibly roadblocks set up, obviously things like public sanitation and restrooms and things like that. So we just wanted to get the discussions rolling and make a plan to move forward and carry this out throughout the whole next month.
Sure. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, the community should expect to see an increase in demonstrations from actually this point forward, leading up to the big day, March 21st. We're trying to schedule a meeting with the groups involved to discuss their intentions, when and where they're planning to conduct these protests. And by where, I mean that VY Corporate, as you all know, has also seen protesters at their doorstep. So we just don't know where these groups will show up. So we don't have confirmation yet on anything, except for one group I know for certain that is coming into town. They've been in before. They're very peaceful. They just want to have their prayer vigil and then they leave. And we're talking the numbers of people that we've seen, about 50 people or so. They're usually not problematic, and that's going to happen on a weekend. So all of us in law enforcement in the area, VI personnel, as you just said, Mike, as well as federal officials, have been meeting on a regular basis to prepare for whatever might happen, and to, of course, ensure the safety of our community. The other piece of it is Mark Spino has been made aware of the potential protests that are coming up, particularly the March 21st date. That one we're concerned with because it's going to be on a school day. So we need to sit down and talk with Mark about that, but he has been made aware of this. So that's what I have so far. If anybody has any questions.
Should that be a potentially, I know we shouldn't even start this discussion without the school board, but should that be, A, either the school is in a lockdown, or B,
Close it.
closed?
Yeah, and again, it's going to depend, as you well know, how many members we have. But yeah, that certainly is something that we need to think about and discuss.
I guess is that in Mary Beth and moving forward, is there a set of milestones or a schedule that how this is going to go forward, and as far as the discussions and then the feedback to the different stakeholders that are going to be involved, like the road crew, fire, police, EMS, you know?
I was under the impression, and I know that that fire was at the last meeting that we had at BY, and I know that Vernon Fire is welcome. So please join us, and I'll try to make them aware of the meetings that are coming up. And But we're trying to schedule something to happen this week with a lot of the groups involved, and we're talking about the big demonstration that we're anticipating. Trying to get them to give us a more definitive time frame, exactly when and where. And as soon as we know that, I can then disseminate that information out to the people that should know.
How are you going to find out, Mary Beth? This is Annette.
Just hoping that they're going to just let us know. We're sitting down and talking to them and just being frank. This is what we need to do. What are your intentions? And I have found that these groups are very cooperative, really.
I've heard this is via Vermont Emergency Management, that this has also an international flavor to it, which I don't think we've had before.
Quite possibly. Yes. I mean, we're also looking at, I believe March 11th is the anniversary date for the Fukushima. So that's another date we're looking at.
I also have concerns for the town offices. I was told by the library that even the small 50 or less people, because they can't park at the school anymore, are parking here at the town offices and using the library bathroom. And not always being terribly couth.
Really?
Yes.
I wasn't made aware of that. The other problem with porta potties is I don't want to encourage them to hang around any longer. You know, let them do their thing and leave is my thought on that. As far as the library, you know, what do? I don't know. Lock the doors?
Yeah.
You know,
For
that's
example.
something maybe we can discuss with the library and see what they feel comfortable with.
We actually, before you, I don't know if you were on yet or not, but it was already mentioned of just closing the town office that day.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Closing it, locking it.
Yep.
Not a lot. Now, what about parking, Mary Beth? Because you can't park along the street. So where
No.
are these people all going to
No,
park?
again, you're right. I mean, that's problematic. I have very good dialogue, and it's very cooperative. I've actually taken one of the leaders, if you will, of one of these groups, the peaceful groups, and we drove along Governor Hunt Road, and I pointed out the things that they can and can't do, what I want to see, and not parking on the street. You know, we try to get out there as soon as we know they're coming in. We try to get out there. They actually have their own people that are directing traffic and keeping people off the side of the road. But it's worked out fairly well. I would like to see them still use the town hall parking lot. It gets them off the street. If we lock it up, then they can't go in there and use the facilities.
The problem is we've never had anything like we're anticipating here in March. So, you know, I agree that there were times that, you know, people parked at the school or people parked at the town office, but, you know, the rumors that we're hearing is we could have 4,000 people here in town, and we aren't capable of handling 4,000 people here in town.
Nope, we're not. But we, as I say, we're game planning. I can't talk
I know
about
you can't
the
talk
tactics,
about.
as you know.
I know you can't talk about
We can't talk tactics, but we are preparing for that. As best we can, we are all game planning for that potential large number.
Are you going to have tow trucks here?
Say that again, please.
Are you going to have tow trucks here?
Tow trucks?
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's part of what we're discussing.
Go into executive session. too.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to ask one question before we do, because she mentioned Brattleboro Fire Department. Why would Brattleboro be invited and only Vernon welcomed? Why wouldn't Vernon be, I mean, is it because it's the Brattleboro area that you're talking about, the operations center, or if it's Vernon? Because I would say that our fire department
should be invited, and so should emergency management.
Sure. I was under the impression that the Vernon Fire Department was, and I may be incorrect stating that, but I thought they were. If not, then I will make sure that they are
Yeah, okay.
included for sure. And,
All right, thank
and
you.
emergency services as well.
All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
Todd shook his head that he was not invited.
He was not. Okay, I'll make sure that that's rectified.
All right, thank you.
All right, we want to go into executive session?
Well, I guess is that, people that are watching this, is that how are we going to assure them what is going to be our communication to let people in town know, because I'm sure that anybody watching this is going to, might have some angst from this. And how do we go forward with saying is that, well, this is how we're going to notify people as to what's going on and be able to get the word out?
Well, good point. This is. I'd like to actually see the Vernon newspaper come back. I'm not going off point really, because I think it's a really good way to get information out to our community. If I have to go door to door, I will do that. Whatever it takes to get the word out, and what we're doing now.
I'm having a paper this month. I'm working on putting it together now. It should be out by next Thursday at the latest.
Excellent.
What about
So
a
if you've
public
got-
meeting?
So I'll get something in there. You know, look, I mean, it shouldn't really be a surprise to anybody that we should expect to see more demonstrations happening now. I mean, this is something that's been well publicized, and we are doing, and I assure the community, we are doing absolutely everything we can to make sure that everyone is safe.
What about a public meeting, or at least a meeting for people on Governor Hunt Road and 142 in the area of the plant, so that they can come here and express their concerns and be told what they can and can't do as far as their property rights and stuff?
Sure, that's absolutely. We can certainly do that. Whatever to ease the angst, as Mike says, that we have to do, I'm more than happy to do it.
We also have the ability to hand out a flyer at the town meeting too.
And voting.
Right, exactly.
And voting, yeah, that's a great, I didn't even think about the voting. So. Let's see, this would be
Litigation.
it's not a personal matter. Contractual matter?
It would have to be contractual.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Ball?
Are you okay with me making this motion?
I'm trying to figure out how a contractual, but I guess in terms of everybody that's working together, including
Or
UI.
it almost is like either that or it is a personnel matter, and the fact is how our personnel are going to work together.
I would buy that.
I would
Okay.
buy that too.
So I move that we go into executive session with David Walker, Todd Capon, let's see, who else? And Annette, sorry,
And don't forget, and,
and Katrina Lawley.
no, I was talking,
Mary
Mary
Beth.
Beth. On the
Oh, and Mary
phone.
Beth, thank you. They're
Sorry.
not in front of me. They can be next to me, but I'll miss them. On a personnel matter with the disclosure of which at this time might be detrimental to the town and or the individuals involved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session with David Walker, Todd Capon, Annette Royd, and Mary Beth Hebert on a personnel matter for which the disclosure of at this time may be detrimental to the town and or the individuals involved.
I think it's the Katrina.
Do we want Katrina as well?
Do you want me?
Don't matter to me.
And with Katrina Lawley as well. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Went into executive session at 7:27.
Who seconded it?
Where's that little piece of paper? I had a questionable license plate in my neighborhood today. Okay, thank you, David. All right, we went into executive session at,
7:27.
I wrote it down, but it's on a different piece of paper. 7:27, came out at 8:16 with no action taken. Is there any further discussion for the board tonight? Patty's not here.
When will our next select board meeting be?
We had talked about having a special budget meeting, but I haven't heard anything that people would be interested in attending. I don't know if any other board members have heard anything.
No?
Nope.
So then I would say we will not have that budget meeting, and the next meeting will be on the 5th, town meeting.
No. Oh, yes, town meeting, but the select board meeting would be the 6th, after town meeting, right?
Yes. The board will be meeting at the next 2 town meetings, and
Right.
then the new board will meet on the 6th after the meeting for a reorganizational meeting.
Yeah.
Mr. Ball, your last meeting. You seem a bit melancholy.
I'm just tired.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. Is there any discussion? Hearing none? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
My last official motion was